What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JRich. Monday Night Football between the Detroit Lions and the Las Vegas Raiders is here. Jimmy Garoppolo is back, and the Lions are big favorites. But this is not a spread show or a pick show. This is about player props over on Prizepicks, and I'm going to show you guys my process for how I identify some plays. I found some good stuff already, but let's dive into it right now. So this is a cheat sheet that I made for myself, basically highlighting some plays that you can find pretty easily. It basically just compares Prizepicks and DraftKings. And so what I'll do is I'll look at the lines, say where are they the same, and then more importantly, where is the edge, right? So you're looking at Jimmy Garoppolo rushing yards, which is highlighted right here, so we can highlight that one. That one looks pretty good as well. Josh Jacobs receptions, I was looking at also minus 130. And then what we can do is go over to the My Spari Edge tool and start to figure out, is there some potential value here? Now you see Austin Hooper is minus 130, but over on Prizepicks, they already bumped it down to 11.5. So you have to kind of know and understand how to utilize this information, how to utilize this data. Jahmyr Gibbs, 70.5 on all books, slight juice to the over. Now, Sportsline does have a small projection for 63, so they have him to go slightly under based off their model. But I know that one of our guys wrote an article last night, and he really likes Jahmyr Gibbs to go over his rushing yards tonight. Another one that people do like a lot is Michael Mayer. Now, his line on DraftKings, 22.5, minus 130, but on Prizepicks, juiced up to 24.5. So it is a little bit higher than it was. Even last night, we saw it at 21.5. That's kind of the main play we're looking at right now. Sam Laporta's receptions under at 4.5, minus 140, but Prizepicks already has it at 4. We know we don't love to take those whole numbers at all. Jahmyr Gibbs, you see here, his receptions look okay. Austin Hooper receiving yards. This is one that is pretty interesting. You know, they have it at 12.5 on DraftKings, and he hasn't been getting a ton of work at all, so I don't really love that play. But the two main ones that I'm really liking here are Jimmy Garoppolo and Josh Jacobs. Those are kind of the two that I think really stand out. You see the receiving yards, Prizepicks bumped it up a little bit. You have Jahmyr Gibbs receiving yards right here at 26.5, but it hasn't moved either way. So we will check on Jahmyr Gibbs receiving yards because it could be a pretty good play, and if other books like it, maybe we'll be inclined to take it. So let's head over to myspariedge.com where I already pulled up Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, you can see here his rushing yards under minus 135, minus 130, minus 139, minus 130, and minus 161 on Pinnacle Sportsbook. So Jimmy Garoppolo rushing yards under, first play, have to lock that one in because it does look really, really good. Now we can go in here, put in Josh Jacobs and see, okay, what are we seeing for Josh Jacobs? There's the player receptions. Let's see here. Let me move myself out of the way. I'll move myself up here a little bit. So Josh Jacobs, player receptions, 3.5. For the under, minus 145 on Fliff. As I mentioned on DraftKings, minus 130. Then you have FanDuel, minus 113. So they're not really so sold on it. But you see Caesars, minus 139. MGM, minus 140. Pinnacle, minus 143. So best play, honestly, would be to take this on FanDuel right now because so many books have this juice to the under. If it doesn't move or it stays in our favor, you want to take the under on FanDuel and you want to take the under on your slips on Prizepicks. On both those spots, they do look pretty good, but definitely worth consideration on Prizepicks. Great underplay here on Josh Jacobs. Now let's go look at Gibbs, the other play that I was looking at and I identified, and see what we can find. We're looking at his receiving yards. Yeah, not a lot of movement here. As I mentioned, DraftKings at minus 120, minus 121, minus 120, minus 119. Not enough to really move the needle, but definitely one that is worth monitoring because if it continues to get juiced to the over, that's one that we could want to take. So now let's look at Jahmyr Gibbs' rushing yards. Another play that we talked about we kind of like for an over. We have DraftKings has it minus 120, Fliff minus 120. FanDuel has it at 71.5, which is interesting. Then minus 129, minus 115, and then the big one, Pinnacle, minus 137 to the over. So Gibbs is another player. If you wanted to look at the rushing yards, last night on our website, we had one of our writers, Brandon, talk about Jahmyr Gibbs to go over his rushing yards. He really likes to play against the Las Vegas defense. They've been bleeding rushing yards to opposing running backs, so it is a play that we like quite a bit. And the other guy I wanted to check out was Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is another player who's been doing great and performing much and much better each and every week. So you see this play here that I was talking about earlier where Prizepicks bumped it up to 24.5 last time I ran my data. Caesar still has this at minus 131. Pinnacle minus 143 at 22.5. I still think this is a pretty good play. If you want to take it at 24.5, make sure you go to myspariedge.com, check it out, see what the number's at, update it, right? We can actually refresh this really quickly live in real time. Let's see what we got. New data, Michael Mayer, bada boom, bada bing. And let's see. So they still have it pulling at 22.5. I pulled it at 24.5. So we'll have to see what the line is. But even still, I mean, 24.5 is great value for Michael Mayer. You're just going to want to see where does this line ultimately fall, because Caesars definitely believes he can go over this 24.5 number. So when you're looking at that, that's when you're going to want to pay attention to, is seeing, do other books move it? I mean, DraftKings will probably move it. Fliff will probably move it. Pinnacle will probably move it as well. 24.5 could be a pretty decent play for Mayer. And as I mentioned, FanDuel is already there. So those are kind of the plays you could look at. Those are the ones that I think are pretty solid overall. We talked about Jahmyr Gibbs rushing yards as another one that you could look at that looks pretty good. Even at 70.5, a lot of books have this one even more juiced to the over. You see here, you're even getting a bit of value on Josh Jacobs rushing yards. If you get it at 61.5, it looks like it's 59.5 right now on some of the other books. This is what I'm looking at right now. I think these are kind of the plays that I've highlighted that I do like. You know, Michael Mayer receiving yards, looking at an over there, even if they are at 24.5. Monitor that one. Could be a good play. Same with Jahmyr Gibbs. And then the plays that already are on the board that look great: Jimmy Garoppolo rushing yards under 4.5, and Josh Jacobs receptions under 3.5. Both those look very good right now on the books and are definitely worth your consideration. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, if you tail, give Prizepicks hell, and if we fail, do not bail. We'll be dropping these videos for each and every single primetime game. But if you want more plays, real-time plays, when they drop, when you have to grab them before the lines move, join the Dub Club. Less than $1 a day, 12 plus cappers, and I promise you it will pay for itself. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Good luck tonight, and I'm out. Peace.